I don't think we pose a threat to them.
No.
So, beside the nuclear weapon and nuclear explosion and destroying the planet, and I think they care about the planet and cosmos, as you said. And it's not like they care about us.
No.
Majority of those sightings are because of nuclear activities.
Yeah.
Either it's like missiles, weapons, or nuclear power grids, or nuclear facilities, or nuclear leaks.
Yes.
In like different parts of the world. Then it makes it easier to believe that right now they're showing up to kind of control things, kind of cool things down. Like, no, you don't get to decide like if you want to go to war. There is no third world war in our watch. Since they blew up Hiroshima and Nagasaki, then it was like all these UFOs coming up.
Yes.
And even the testing in
Manhattan Project.
the testing size of Manhattan Project, they were witnessing UFOs. And now we are back at it.
Yes, here we are again.
Yes, here we are again. It's the start of 2025. Hopefully the world stands.
Yes.
Yeah.
In some manner or form. We're living in exciting times, mister.
Yeah, I
Aren't
believe
we?
so.
I mean, you think these supposed drones have been with us over a month now, maybe 5 weeks,
Yeah, more or less.
more or less.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, you're right. 1.5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And they,
cool.
and they don't know what they are.
No. And we're still here.
But they're safe.
Yes.
That's all you need to know.
I see.
You're safe.
Yes. I'm not worried about them. I still stand by the belief that they are extraterrestrials here to make sure that we don't do anything stupid with nuclear weapons or nuclear power, of course. More or
That's
less
the
same.
most plausible scenario.
Absolutely.
That,
I mean, it's not the first time. We know that, eh?
but it's not for our sake. That's how I feel about it. It's not like
No.
they do it for us.
We're the bad guys. Yeah. I feel that, well, relatively bad. I feel that they are here to protect the whole cosmos, not just their own interests, but it seems that a nuclear explosion is really bad news, not just for our little planet, but for the whole system. And
It's a no-no for them.
it's a no-no, absolutely, for the whole cosmos, of which they are obviously an important part. Yeah, so I can't come past that. It's possible that some of these drones are man-made, in my opinion, using alien technology to some degree, and probably stuck up there to confuse us. But there's no way that I don't think humans know how to make orbs, for example, or any of these other amazing things that we're seeing in the sky.
If I remember correctly, it was Jason Jorjani that was talking about people see these orbs turn to a drone, or drones turn to orbs. It's
Wow.
Yeah, there were witnesses. I mean,
So they're shapeshifters.
I think I saw some video like that. I don't remember it, but I'm gonna look if I can find it and like tag along this part of our podcast.
Yes.
But so it's like people manifest these drones or orbs differently sometimes. And similar things, as Jason Jorjani was mentioning, similar things were happening in end of 1800.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
end
didn't
of
know that.
1800.
Oh.
So it was exactly the same type of. They see like these airships that like it was witnessed by like a couple of people, like a group of people, but in that group of people, everybody have like, not everybody, but some have a different description of it.
Okay.
Some will say like, oh, it was an airship. Some will say like, oh no, it had like a bat wings on it, and you know what I mean. So
yeah.
it's little up to your interpretation of it. It's like you manifest it
Yes.
differently, or you visualize it differently.
In the last, I don't know, 24 hours or so, I've been looking much more carefully at some of the really good footage that's come out of orbs over the sky in New Jersey turning into drones. The footage is really good, and it's multiple videos put out by people who clearly haven't faked this footage with any kind of CGI. And now they say these drones, they have stealth capability, they can't be seen on radar. Well, UFOs also often aren't seen on radar. My latest book, Satanion, opens with a chapter called Diabolical Disclosure, where I talk about the mystery airships of 1896, 1897. It's the first modern UFO wave in America, where you had Jules Verne-esque airships appear in about, 10 different states in America. And they were reported on in the newspapers of, 40 different states. It was widely covered in the press for something like 9 months between 1896 and 1897. That people were seeing these airships that were nothing like the blimps that we later came to know. They were not gas-filled Zeppelins. They were craft that looked like something from out of the science fiction of H.G. Wells or Jules Verne. And they were observed by many, many people. And again, reported on in newspapers and with testimony from sheriffs, from mayors of cities. Mayors of cities walked up to these things and touched them. They landed in people's fields and asked for resupply at times. And but here's the thing. People were reporting all different types of airships to the extent that sometimes the same people, let's say in San Francisco, looking at, a couple of airships in the sky, or looking at the same airship in the sky. At one point, one of these airships flew so low that it cast a searchlight onto the Cliff House in San Francisco. People looking at the same airship saw two completely different things. Some people only saw amorphous lights, like orbs, basically, at the same time as other people saw a structured craft. So the perceptions of witnesses varied significantly.
I was going to say it might be a bit of both. It might be that, you must have some reference points you can understand.
Mm.
And so maybe the people of that era used the term of the airships, sorry.
Mm.
I'm not sure about where that leaves us with orbs. I think we have a little bit of fantasy than just a round circle, a round ball.
Yes.
But maybe that's how they really look, without any disguise or morphing to help us understand their form, which is a possibility. It's not, we all know what a drone looks like, so maybe they want to be accepted in our minds and take on that appearance.
Well, it's, as it is right now, we're just like speculating and guessing what it is.
Of course.
What is going on.
Yes.
But of course, FBI and government knows what is going on. And I think governments around the world know what is going on. It's like,
yes.
Because recently it's been in the sky of Sweden as well. We've been...
Oh, I missed that.
It can be just a commercial drone, but it looked really big.
Oh.
Yeah, someone filmed it.
Do you know where it was?
Somewhere in South, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the name. I don't remember the name. But
I have seen things around here several years back, but not recently. And they didn't look like drones. They looked like an orb. It was a silver disc hovering in the sky for about an hour.
Mm.
So, and I know it was a disc because it was kind of teetering like this, backwards and forwards, very slowly.
Mm.
So the sun would reflect off it at a certain angle, and then when it tipped back, the sun reflection disappeared, and then you could see the form without the sun's influence. And then the sun came back and it was just glowed, and then that was really cool.
Yeah, I think it's hard to know now which is which.
Yes. Yeah.
Which one is ours? Which one is unidentified?
I think that's deliberate.
At some point, I was just thinking, like, maybe they are telling the truth. Like, they don't know what is going on. Because what would you say if you don't know these drones and it feels like your technology to fight them doesn't work on them? What would you do?
Lie. Make up other stories.
I mean, you can go to the full on attack mode and like bring out the jets and try to shoot at these objects, which recently they started doing it.
Yes.
At least I think in New Jersey. Maybe I'm wrong, but they tried to shoot one down, and I don't know how it went, how successful they were, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy not to know what they are and come with a straight face talking like, oh no, it's fine.
Yes.
You're safe.
I recently have been looking at several podcasts made by Dr. Stephen Greer. Really, really resonate a lot with a lot of what he has to say about the whole situation. And it's really because of him that I firmly believe that they, at least most of what we're seeing is alien presence. And that their mission is to make sure we don't do anything stupid with nuclear arms or power, as I said. Yet just yesterday we discovered there's a possibility that Israel has fired a nuclear warhead into Lebanon because the radiation levels spiked hugely. So that gives me, a little bit of fuel to Stephen Greer's fire, that they obviously know something that we don't so clearly, if there's so many of them are making their presence so strongly felt. But also listening to what Dr. Stephen Greer had to say, which again resonates with me, that they light years ahead of us in development and are very capable of a lot of things. And the fact that they haven't annihilated us already is a pretty darn good sign that they're not these awful things that are going to make us into hamburgers or oh, there's my wasted childhood coming out there. And that it's in all likelihood that they're just to protect the cosmos. And I really hope they succeed. I hope we smarten up enough to say, okay, guys, we got the message, we back off and we'll get civilized and stop killing each other and ruining the cosmos.
I don't think we pose a threat to them.
No.
So beside the nuclear weapon and nuclear explosion and destroying the planet. And I think they care about the planet and cosmos, as you said. And it's not like they care about us.
Not specifically us, no. I agree. Yeah.
Maybe if it comes down to like, okay, should we save some of them? If there is a
Cute
catastrophic
little
event, it's like there's a catastrophic event supposed to happen, like a asteroid supposed to hit the Earth or whatever.
Yes.
Global warming or whatever, global catastrophe.
However, just to add to that point, I think it's good to remember that there are endless different groups that are here and have different functions. And earlier we've talked about the Anunnaki, who have deliberately or otherwise really helped in our development. I mean, in humans' development, the development of the human body, as you can say. And I'm pretty sure they're still here doing that in some ways. But if I'm not too sure that these ones we're seeing now are Anunnaki. Not that it really matters. I mean, all of them are just beings like us anyway, in different forms. But yeah, just it's a little detail there that I don't think it's necessarily Anunnaki here now, but one of the many groups that look after us, or the planet, or the animals. That's another point too, Marnie. I think we humans are way too egotistical, make ourselves much too important. I mean, we must remember that we are not the only evolving creatures on this planet. So are all the animals, so are the plants, so are the insects, probably the rocks and the water and the air too. I'm not sure about that, but I wouldn't mind betting that's how it is. So, there are probably beings looking after all of us, in different ways. But I do agree with you. I think these guys' main issue is the safety of the cosmos. Partly for their own reckoning, but probably for everyone else's too.
Yeah.
And I just want to refer back to the 1960s, around the time of the Cuban crisis, where apparently we were really close to nuclear war between Russia and America. Sorry, USSR and America. Which didn't happen, as we know, but there were at least 2 military bases that I'm aware of that got shut down by UFOs. They were hovering overhead and just cut all power to them for some period of time, probably just to say, look, we can control you if you really need to. Shape up. And I can't remember, because I was only a little kid then, but I can't remember if that happened before or after this flashpoint where we nearly went to war. But anyway, I'm pretty sure we got the message at that stage, but we maybe have forgotten.
So I think this guy, Robert Hastings, did a deep dive research on the connection between nuclear weapons and nuclear power and UFOs and UFO sightings. And it's almost majority of those sightings are because of nuclear activities.
Yeah.
Either it's missiles, weapons, or nuclear power grids, or nuclear facilities, or nuclear leaks.
Yes.
in different parts of the world. So, and it's fascinating to just listen to him because he's been at it for more than 20 years. So, and he documented every case. So it's not I assume or I guess that's related. No. Every fucking event that happened, it's documented with evidence and sightings and witnesses, and the reason of it is related to nuclear activity, whatever it is.
That's right.
Declassified U.S. government documents and witness testimony from former or retired U.S. military personnel confirm beyond any doubt the reality of ongoing UFO incursions at nuclear weapons sites.
So then it makes it easier to believe that right now they're showing up to kind of control things, kind of cool things down. It's no, you don't get to decide if you want to go to war. There is no third world war in our watch.
No.
Before it was fun and cool, you could have just do this and do that. But since they blew up Hiroshima and Nagasaki, then it was all these UFOs coming up.
Yes.
And even the testing in the project, what was the project that they built? The
Manhattan Project.
In Manhattan, even in Manhattan Project, they at that point, I'm not sure what I was about to say. But for the testing, the testing size of Manhattan Project, they were witnessing UFOs
in Nevada.
Yeah. So that's when it kind of get extreme. Like they show up
Yes.
constantly.
Yeah.
And now it feels like with the state of world right now, so unstable, anybody can just screw all the humanity any
Yes.
side. It can be USA. I don't trust them.
No.
Can be just like, oh yeah, we're gonna shoot them we're gonna destroy Russia and the world is gonna be fine.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, because there was this woman that is like wrote several books about it and explains like how the nuclear protocol works. If Russia detects something with satellites, that there are missiles that come in its way, even if it's not coming directly to Russia, because it has to go through the North Pole for some reason.
Okay.
If they detect something coming, like within like 2-3 minutes, they have to decide that it's like a adversary military shot these missiles and is supposed to the target is Russia.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have to answer.
Right.
And when they answer, they're not going to just fire one missile. They're going to get rid of all the nuclear weapons they have there. Because if one hit them, all the nuclear weapons that they have is going to go off.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
Didn't know
they
that.
get rid of all the, I don't know, 4,000, how many Russia nuclear missiles they have. They're going to shoot, how do you say, shoot the missile?
Yep.
They're going to shoot
Or
all
launch them, yeah.
launch all the arsenal they have.
Ah.
So just think about it. And within 3 minutes, within 3, 4, 5 minutes, I mean, the protocol is actually, it's like, it's as simple as I'm saying, but it has more details in it.
Yeah.
But just think about it.
Mm.
And there are people in charge of that. People.
Yes.
Not AI.
No.
Nothing like, in terms of like,
Oh, dear.
yeah, it's very intelligence. It's a godlike mind that doesn't do wrong. And in, I don't know, it was in the 2000s or like a couple years ago, it was a false flag missile that they had in Russia.
Oh.
And they thought that like USA launch a missile towards Russia, and it was like this close for them to like launch all the missiles they have. But one general was like, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to wait.
Right. Yeah.
And it came out within like 2-3 minutes. It came out that it's a false flag. But what I'm saying is that we are like stupidly
Yes.
playing with this shit.
Yeah.
Playing with something that is like, we think we know the consequences, but we haven't ever, even if you like, you can calculate or say like, okay, yeah, this is the consequence. This will happen if we do. No, we don't know.
Yes.
We don't know what's going to happen in terms of cosmos and planets. Maybe all the planets go out of their orbits and we're going to destroy the whole solar system. And in that sense, the whole galaxy and probably the whole universe.
That's the point where I feel that these ETs come in. I would say that's their priority. But I would also say that there are two places on this planet that I know of with clear signs of nuclear war from earlier periods. One is the Indus Valley in India, and the other one is in part of Scotland, where you can see that. I forgot the name of it now. When it's such intense temperatures that everything the rocks kind of melt, and they know that it's only nuclear power that can create that amount of heat to over such a large area, and the area in this valley is the ruins of some cities. Scotland, as far as I remember, it's just in the countryside. There's no signs of human habitation that were affected, but definitely in Indus Valley, They can see very clearly.
Yeah, they can say it was instant because
Yes.
like people were like on the
Yeah.
stairs,
Yeah.
like the bones is melt on the stairs,
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
and it's like you can see that it happened in an instant.
It's yes.
And the only reasonable explanation is that nuclear.
And I would like to suggest there's a good possibility that something similar happened to Mars too. Because we know it's had an atmosphere earlier because they've had water and rivers, and therefore most probably organic carbon-based life as we have here on Earth. And it's all gone, and it seemed to have been gone in an instant too. So it must have been a real blow, that one. So apparently the cosmos can survive these things, but make it very, unstable, or has some very, very negative effects anyway. But this is all sounding a bit gloomy. I would like to look a little bit the other way, and that these ETs that are here now obviously have wonderful technology with their anti-gravity machines. And I know from what I've listened to from Stephen Greer and many others further back that it is technology that could easily replace our need for electricity from solar, from nuclear electricity, from any other oil, of course, and really be a solution to the planet's ecological crisis too. And Stephen Greer mentioned in one of his podcasts that actually the Americans stole this technology in the 50s and have had the anti-gravity system, I forgot the correct word, and we use that for now, since then. Whether it's the full quid or part of it, not sure, but what a waste. We've got half a century to catch up on. Think if we had that technology available to everyone then, we wouldn't have this darn ecological mess that we're in now.
Roswell was not the first, but it's the most famed crash retrieval of an interstellar vehicle. And it was downed by an advanced electromagnetic weapon that was hidden in a radar dome. We have an FBI document written to J. Edgar Hoover from a field agent saying so. And that, by the way, when we released it, has become the #1 viewed document on the FBI website by far. So that event led to a very intensive project headed up by Dr. Vannevar Bush, who had headed up the Manhattan Project, the atomic bomb project, to get to the bottom of the modus operandi, to quote a document from Canada, top secret. In other words, the mechanism of how these craft operate, their energy system, their propulsion system, teleportation systems, all of it. So began sort of the modern era in the 40s in the wake of, and of course in the backyard of the atomic bomb program, because at the time, people don't know this, Roswell was the only atomic bomb storage facility on Earth. No other nation had the bomb, and that was the only place where we stored ones that were operational. And that's why the ETs are so concerned, because it's not only something that could destroy all life on Earth, but as I mentioned, when you detonate one, it actually rips the fabric of the universe and is destructive way out beyond the Earth and beyond our solar system on these other dimensions. Because remember, we see, our physicists have described a certain level of the cosmos, and now they're describing, dark energy and dark matter and other realms and other dimensions. In reality, when you detonate an atomic bomb or a hydrogen bomb, worse, there is a pulse that goes out that's beyond the speed of light. That's not just the electromagnetic pulses. So the ETs were very, very concerned about this, obviously.
And I would love, this is my good news bit, I would love to think that we can reestablish some good constructive communication with these lovely beings here protecting us in the cosmos, and to see if they could help us to have that technology in good hands that can then be used by everyone.
I'm not sure about the anti-gravity technology, but the free energy.
Well, okay, that's what I mean. But I think there might be the same thing. But if they're not, it doesn't
can be.
matter.
It can be the same thing, but the free energy part.
That's the bit I'm really interested in. Yes. So
The free energy part, like there are at least 10 scientists, and maybe some of them are ordinary people, that develop a pattern for free energy.
Where is it?
They mysteriously died after
Oh,
they were about to publish their pattern
funny
and
that.
go public
Yeah.
with it.
This might be the same thing we're talking about, but I know in my lifetime I can think of at least 6 people that have invented water-powered engine who have mysteriously disappeared too.
Mm.
That's the most recent one that I can remember was in 2002. A young guy in my home country, New Zealand, showed it, and he had an old Chevy Impala that he had put this water power motor into, and he showed it working. And that's bye-bye, young man. He's gone. But I can think of, like many more, or several more before that incident too. Not in New Zealand only, but around the world.
So what is up with that? What is going on with that?
Which one?
What is going on with people disappearing?
Oh,
and they
yes.
trying to help the world actually.
Well, of course. I mean, it's greed.
Is it
isn't
all greed?
Yes. Why not? What
Is
else?
Because this is very simple. I don't think it's that simple. I think it's complex.
What more then could it be?
I think we're not supposed to develop that fast. And some forces trying to push, hold us back. Even with our understanding of physics and science and everything. It's like we try to... I mean, right now with AI and everything, there is no pushback anymore because it's just going to develop by itself.
Yeah.
They didn't see that coming.
Sure.
They didn't see the angle to AI. But everything else that was like in a 3D physical world that they could prevent, they did. They prevented from going any further when it was treading the new world order and what they want. And probably maybe with AI, is on the same direction as they want the world to go. Because then AI gonna take over, and they probably have some control over it. So what I'm trying to say is that we could have been we could have lived in a harmonious.
We could I like your word better, but it's actually harmonious.
We could have lived in the harmonious, like a utopian world right now.
Yes,
with all the people, there were no suffering. People will live their ideal lives, and they didn't have to work and survive. They could have actually work on their potential. But instead, we have 1/10% living that life, and the rest of us is just suffering, and we're confused.
But no, that would never work, Marnie. Who are we going to sell weapons to?
Yeah.
If there are no wars, come on. Economy would collapse. Oh, dear. Oil companies would go bust. Oh, dear. This would never do, will it?
I think it's even a little bigger than that. Yeah, I don't think it comes down to oil and money and power. I think it's just some forces that trying to hold us back as a collective.
Okay.
Hold humanity back.
Well, I agree that that's happening, but I don't agree that we're not ready. I think it's water power motors. I mean, who's that going to hurt? I mean, for the average human being. I mean,
no, I'm not thinking we're not ready to move on and go develop and elevate. I don't think that. I'm thinking we are way overdue.
Yeah. Yes. Me too.
Especially with everything that is happening. We've been hearing about it since 1970s, that actually 50s, that there are UFOs, this and that, and then they try to do this psyops, Project Blue Book, this and that, to just make a mockery out of it. But then in 2017, it's still it comes out like, yeah, there are UFOs. We don't know what they are. And then from that point, it's like soon it's going to be 8 years that they're like, it's like playing this like a tip-tap-toe game. It's like, oh, they are real, but we don't know what they are. Oh, some of them are maybe man-made, but we don't know. We have witnesses, but they need a skiff to talk about. It's like this game that they play.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like a circus. It's like just to get your attention from what is actually happening. And what I was trying to say is that we are ready. And we're sick of these games.
Oh, God, yeah. Long overdue.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm saying we are ready. I know people that are will freak out, and people who are so resistant to the fact that, there might be other non-human intelligence that live among us, or in other planets, or in other dimensions. They're so afraid to get lose this concept that they have on 3D world.
Yes. I want to do a big rave about that when you're ready. So,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Are we there?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Just elaborating on your point there. This is a big deal for me, because these people who, in my opinion, are stuck in their heads, and there are millions of us, because that's how we're trained to be. If you think well, you're a good person, you got it sorted. And that's all that matters in the world, what you can stick in a test tube and prove. But in actual fact, if we take a step back from that very, very narrow, closed viewpoint, there has been interaction with other life forms, both here and other dimensions, since the very beginning of our existence, and still is going on now. Even on the physical plane, how many of us are communicated with a cat or a dog? Can give a dog a command and they'll follow it. And they'll tell you back too when they're hungry. May not be in human words, but there's another life form, which is non-human, that we daily communicate with in different ways. And all forms of animals too, of course. And then, as we all know, all of us have guardian angels, for want of a better name, and most of us have interaction with them, consciously or otherwise, anyway. And they've been there since we began existing on the planet too. It's no new thing. And of course, in my opinion, what has happened is religion has shut down that connection and said, look, if you want to come to God, you come through us. The angels belong to us. You don't communicate. You come to the church and confess all your bad things, and we'll pass the word, and etc. You can pray, but don't expect to get answers. The answers come from us. And I think that has really impacted on our ability to feel we can communicate freely. A lot of us can and do on a daily basis, as you know. And if you've got that connection with your own spirit guides, it's the same process to communicate with other beings, for example, ETs. There's really nothing to have stopped us in the first beginning. So this idea of us here, us humans on Earth, and them there, those aliens out there, it's a huge, huge misconception. It makes just me so sad when I see the tankard people thinking, and no, yes, but, where's the proof? I mean, they're entitled to their narrow little world. That's fine, but doesn't work for most of us. And that's the end of my rave, Marnie.
If they were ordinary people with no powers and no followers, then it would be like, okay, you're entitled to your personal opinion. But if you have if you're an influencer, or if you're a scientist like Neil deGrasse Tyson, or there are plenty of them. There are plenty of them that they are in the top positions, high positions in a scientific community, and they're praised and they are admired for whatever they think they achieved.
Yeah.
But they're so against it. They're almost like they like to call the term pseudoscientists.
Yes.
I think they're pseudo skeptics.
Thank you.
Skepticism supposed to be helpful, supposed to go through something
Of course,
and have some critical thinking and see if there is any merit to it. But they don't just go they're pseudo skeptics. They're just trying to destroy it. I was just listening to and I hate it when I see it. It's almost it's not. You see, justice hasn't been served by these people who have the credential, who if you're an average person, you're Neil deGrasse Tyson is an astrophysicist, this, that, also they should know better. So I should take their word to be the fact or truth. But then you see no, they just they look away from the facts and data. They're all right, but show me an alien body.
Yeah.
If you show me alien body, I will look at the data. I will accept your data. It's no, that's not how it works. You have to go through the data. No, it's a falsy camera. It's a falsy radar. It's so.
Yeah.
What gives you that conclusion? Because now then the relativity wouldn't be the case.
Yes. Well, the thing is, they have already decided what the result is.
Yeah, confirmation bias, and it's not even confirmation. Their approach, and I feel it, and everybody can feel it nowadays.
Yes.
When you hear someone debunking something, you can understand if they have any attention to actually go through the thing and debunk it, and come up with the conclusion that it's more likely not to be the case, or they just go through it to debunk it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And you can see, I was just listening to this girl on TikTok. It has she has a channel that is debunking the most, because there are a lot of crazy stuff going on TikTok, and with these drones and plasmoids and everything. People come with their own theory about it, and sometimes they tag along a study that has been done on it and things in that colors. So she's the one that debunking it on TikTok.
Okay.
She's the TikTok skeptic.
She's the one that knows.
Yeah, exactly. She's the one that approves or denies.
I see.
And she's the TikTok skeptic, and she has her own channel. So she was talking about this, the latest thing that they talked, they thought plasmoids are sentient beings, and the characteristic of them are kind of showing that they are sentient. And she was talking oh yeah, I read this study, and first thing she did, she just talked a little about what they've done in this study.
Okay.
The data that they present. Just a little. Maybe 1 minute. And then on the next video, she has 10 minutes rant on who are these people that have done this study.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to have a personal attack on your credentials.
Yeah.
And just one of them is the real, and this is not real. This is not real. He's not like that. This person is not like this. It's like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Go through the data.
Yes.
And I commented on her post and say like, it's like you went to the town, did a deep dive on who presented a study. Would you mind to spend some time explain the data and actually, like, as a scholar, if you understand it, why don't you talk about the data? Why don't you find something that is very wrong in the data? And she replied like, yeah, go watch my previous video. And I went and watched the previous video and I was like, you just mentioned like briefly, very briefly. I like to see you, how do you say, debating someone with the same credential that understands and can know the language and talk to you about it. And I like to see how you react then. Because it's easy to come to, like, to average, to normal, how do you say, normal person that doesn't know that much about physics or astrophysics to say like, oh yeah, no, it's just bullshit.
Yeah, I know. I hear what you're saying. It's a real pity because we have these amazing brains and an incredible tool when you think about it. Why can't we just learn to use them well, and use them in balance and bit of heart in a lot of heads, wonderful.
No, I'm thinking like, I'm not a good example either because I'm a believer. I believe it's like, it feels like I know.
No.
But it's my personal opinion. So I shouldn't talk like, oh, yeah, those guys are bad, I'm good. No, I'm not saying that.
Of course
you
not.
have to be presented the data, and then you can make your own mind. But you should be free to make your own mind.
Yes.
Yeah, you have collect all the data from the side that is against it, from the side that is with it, and then make your own mind.
Yes.
And
well said.
Yeah,
I agree.
but they try to say like, no, you shouldn't make your own mind. You should follow us. You should be ashamed of yourself.
You have an opinion?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You have an opinion that is against science? Fuck do you think you are?
Oh dear.
And then it's like, it feels like, okay, yeah, I don't want to fucking hear your science. I want to like, and there are scientists that are arguing against your point.
Yes.
And if you have the balls, if you're really sure about what you're saying, why don't you debate them? Why don't you debate the scientists that are against your point of view? Why Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't debate Gary Nolan?
Where I dislike what people like him do is where they diminish the possibility through ridicule, because that's not science. I think what that does is it does a disservice to people who come forward with stories because they have a double trauma. They have the trauma of having seen something they really don't understand and doesn't fit with their worldview. And then they have the trauma of everybody making fun of them and their family, not believing them. Right? And so that's just, at best, it's rude. It's just rude. It's coarse. It's inappropriate. It's wrong. It's arrogant and conceited. So Neil, cut this shit out. Just stop it. It's wrong. You shouldn't do it. You wouldn't want anybody making fun of your ideas like I do on a regular basis these days, but that's just quid pro quo. Right? It's like you don't want somebody doing that to you, so don't do it to other people, especially people who are not as conversant in the sciences as you are. I am. Avi is. Both of us are far more accomplished than the likes of him. He's a TV personality. Stop believing people like that. Stop putting them on the TV shows just because they're bloviating nonsense spewers. You have to categorize this for people so that they understand that a person like that is not a scientist. They're just not. They're a TV personality. So you shouldn't be going to them. So media representatives who are looking for somebody to speak to, that shouldn't be the person you go to. Stop being lazy. Use your brain, find other people who actually can talk about this intelligently and actually have a track record. Sorry. People will make the argument that you need someone like that out there. No, I don't need a bully, right? I need an intelligent conversant on the other side. I'm happy to have a debate, but I want a debate not based on somebody saying, well, if you got taken aboard a craft, why didn't you bring back an alien ashtray? Well, because maybe the aliens have figured out that smoking is not a good idea. I mean, it's just like, that's just such a stupid thing to say. And he said it multiple times, as far as I remember, or at least I've seen him quoted that way multiple times. So it's just, I'm using him as an archetype of a kind of thought process that has infected the media and cultural discussion at large that just needs to be stomped out. Because isn't it fun to talk about ideas? And limiting ideas limits creativity and limits possibility. And so it's always the data off the curve that leads to discovery. I mean, I can't imagine a Nobel Prize that didn't get there because it was obvious, right? I mean, it wasn't obvious, right? It got there because somebody had the strength of will to realize that they were, and was willing to spend the time creating. You don't get Nobel Prizes by learning how to stop stuff. What peer review has become is corrupted. It is the tyranny of the average. And, I remember being asked once by the NIH to, design a $50 million program for doing some biology. I said, great, okay, good. I need the following 3 people, and we'll do it. And they were horrified.
I'm not sure even Gary Nolan want to debate Neil deGrasse Tyson, but it would be good for the humanity.
Yes,
because they get to watch it. They get to watch this, people who are, more Neil deGrasse Tyson because he's a TV scientist nowadays. He has a YouTube channel as well, but he's a TV personality. So, you know what I mean?
Yes.
He's a mainstream scientist, very popular as well. So why don't you debate someone that is against your point of view and actually have the same data and actually go through the data, went through the data and knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Absolutely.
Because I'm sick of this, being discredited and being, how do you say?
Yeah, discredited. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Great. Yeah.
is that a word?
Yes.
You can say that.
You can make up words too, Marnie. That's how language. That's how language develops. Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm a Shakespeare to do that, but no, seriously, it's like this dismissal culture. They try to shut up.
Yes.
It's like, who cares what degree I have? Argue against what I'm saying.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's what I mean. With people who have that credential, I want to see the debate. Because at the end of the day, as long as I'm rooting for my side to be the truth and be the fact, I'm open to be, proved otherwise.
Yes. Yes.
But
Good.
not in the way that, because you say it, I have to agree with it.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I have to accept it because you said it. Especially when I see you're not that careful with the data. You're not that careful with the evidence. You're not that careful with the sightings, witnesses, this and that. You just say if you show me the alien body, then I will agree with you.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
It's like making a mockery out of science that you are advocating for.
I'm thinking about us. I'm monkey braining here, Marnie, but
No worries.
I'm thinking about these lovely so-called drones zooming around our planet. What I would really like to, this is me speculating now, not proving or disproving, but speculating. I would like to think, regardless of what they are, I don't care if they're all man-made or all ET, whatever, that this will be a wake-up call for all humanity to shape up quickly on all fronts. First and foremost, stop killing each other, and then stop killing the planet, and really evolve fast, because that's what we need, obviously. So even think if everyone is just a fake human-made thing, and it has that effect, wow. So this is optimistic me trying to see something really good from all this, and maybe an alternative version of that, if they are ETs, which I'm pretty sure most of them are, that it might be time for disclosure from them. They might choose to come forth and say, well, look, here's an alien body. Hey, guys, shape up.
Hi, Neil. Look what I got for you. Look at all this. Look at all this alien body here for you.
I unfortunately don't think that's going to happen, because I know that we as a race are not evolved enough for that. I think that it would, we're just not ready. It's a huge jump. What I'm suggesting, that we stop fighting each other, that we stop killing the planet, stop being greedy, start caring about things, about ourselves, about the cosmos. That's huge. And I would guess that most of us are ready for that, but there are a lot of us that will probably destroy the process. But that's what I hope for anyway, that there, either we come to that realization ourselves, okay, we got to shape up here and now, stop this crap, get on with it, it's good stuff. Or there will be disclosure, and that will really just inspire us to say, oh, wow, look, these guys have come all the way across the cosmos to help us. And, let's listen to them. That would, yes, then I would be a happy chappy.
All the way from the bottom of our oceans.
Wherever, who cares? Yes. Probably there too, yeah.
Because what I'm thinking is that that's how it feels for me. It feels like there are like an army of, like, they pretend that they protecting the science, but what they do is just keep the things the same and shut off any narratives that will get out of hands and like show us that no, they were fucking like playing with their balls there, to instead of like work on discovery or new way of looking at the world and new physics. They just like they fucking play with the theory, string theory, for more than 50 years, and now they come up to the point that they say like, yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, wow.
And all this time has been wasted on something that they're still trying to protect. And it's like weird. Then it's weird. And you're like, okay, what is going on here? Who are they getting paid by?
Yes. Well, that's what we talked about a little earlier in the podcast, wasn't it? That we got our chance with this new energy system and maybe anti-gravity, whatever. And it got stolen by the Americans. Whereas it was probably meant for all of us, And these guys, if they give us another chance, it'll be jolly decent of them. But I would understand if they didn't too,
Yeah.
But let's hope, mister, that they say, well, yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll try it once more time. Here, you guys, see what you can do with this.
I think what we see is like, as Ross Coulthart said, did I pronounce his name correctly?
It's near enough. I can't pronounce it either.
Ross Coulthart said, early 2025, shit hits the fan.
Yes.
Very early in 2025, all hell is going to break loose. The volume of sightings, weird objects in the sky, it's off the charts. I am swamped by people sending me videos from all over the world. And it's not just in Bedminster, New Jersey. It's not just in the United Kingdom. It's India, Greenland, Russia, Kazakhstan, China, Japan. I cannot believe the volume of sightings that are going on at the moment. Something is showing itself in our skies. We are going to look back and we are going to say that the autumn of the drones was a turning point. There's consistent sightings of drones over military facilities. It sounds like nothing at the moment, but I wager it's going to turn out to be enormous. I think 2024 in future will be seen, ironically, as the calm before the storm. A reckoning is coming.
We're nearly into 2025, and I still feel that too. But I got a feeling it might be a very constructive form of shit that hits the fan, and that will come out of it, hopefully, in much better shape than what we went in, even if it's a rough ride.
Do you think they're going to show up? Because I feel like they're going to show up.
I would not be at all surprised.
They already did. They already shown up in the sky. But I think they're going to show up.
To land. Hi, guys. This
Show up.
Alien me.
Do a tap dance.
Look.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I honestly can't tell the difference between my hopes and what I really feel on that. That clouds it a bit. I would just think it would be fabulous if they showed up and we listened to them, and shaped up quickly. Because I mean, that's what my life's all about anyway, is trying to get us to upgrade ourselves, to a better standard of living, a better way of treating ourselves and the planet. That's what my life's all about.
Yeah.
So if we had all these lovely ETs coming down and saying the same thing, I would be extremely happy and probably out of a job and even happier.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to change we're going to evolve the next step in our evolution chart. We're going to take that next step.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be like a paradigm shift for the way that we live our life.
Absolutely.
In all the ways possible.
It's really needed money.
And that's the thing they want to prevent. And that's the thing they have tried to prevent. So for us to not say oh, who the fuck are you to tell us what to do? Or get us work for 9 hours for minimum fucking payment and just to survive.
Exactly.
You go with your yacht, with $1 million yacht, in $1 million vacation, and we just survive. But how's that fair? How's that balanced?
You are often talked about as living in a simulation, Marnie, and what you're describing, in my opinion, is the simulation. It's this world of greed, and more and more and more and more and more and more, and less for nearly everyone else. More for the greedy ones. It doesn't work for anyone, and it certainly doesn't work for the planet. So, bring it on, please. Yeah.
Yeah, we're too close. We're too close to it to be the reality.
I know. Yes, thank you. I want to also say that if we go back to Atlantean times, we're at exactly the same point when everything went belly up for them. And let's not do it again, please. Once is enough. Probably more than once, but that's was the big one. We had great intellectual development, incredible technology, but very poor development with humanity, with our heart. And that's what we're describing now when we're talking about the simulation. Let's hope, mister. Let's hope we can tip the scales and get into this new paradigm of harmony and caring for each other and the planet and the cosmos.
Yeah. Let's end on that.
Yes.
Yeah.